In 1690, the U.S. switched from trading commodities such as salts, grains, or livestock for paper money. This was a huge deal because back then, people weren't really accustomed to the idea of putting the value of paper money above necessities, but now that we're in the 21st century, a change as big or bigger than paper money in the 1690s is coming. I am discussing a cashless society and its potential positive and negative impacts. Whether you're a millionaire or a student attending college, money is something that impacts each and every one of us. Whether it's used to shop online or pay in person, dollars are used by almost every single civilian here in the United States. Statistica claims that in 2019, 224.4 million people shopped online. This is important because we have to open our eyes to the possibility of this cashless society and weigh in on how it could impact the United States in its positive and negative aspects. The Associated Press's article on the LA Times about money during the pandemic claims that civilians have been steering away from dollar bills because of the possibility of contracting the virus through physical touch. This is so crucial because during the pandemic, we have been forced to get used to this new normal, and people have been avoiding physical stores because we have to touch items that other people have touched, and we don't know whether those people have the virus or not. A positive impact that the cashless society could cause is that they would lessen pollution because paper money is made out of low quality materials. Credit cards are made out of plastic, which would end up in the landfill after use. Not only that, but getting rid of the paper money would most definitely decrease the crime rate in the US. According to the FBI, 86.2 people out of every 100,000 inhabitants were robbed in 2018. This is so crucial because when we have the cashless society, the rate would go down because people would have less of a motive to make these robberies. Lastly, it would be more convenient since this money would all be on personal devices and be password protected. The first negative impact is that the cashless society would make it impossible for those without electronic devices or bank accounts to utilize this money. Additionally, what would happen if someone's phone were to have died? How would they pay for items or transportation if their electronic devices were dead? Another point is that instead of mugging or robbing someone physically, hackers could get into the password-protected apps and steal the money there. According to Nick Gallow's article about cybercrime on Review 42, victims of cybercrime lost $2.7 billion in 2018. Last but not least, when you buy something in cash, it is difficult to trace back to you. However, if you were to buy something using a cash transaction app or online, you would be an open book. Tracing the money back to someone would be a breeze. Going into what would happen if a cashless society were to be enforced, this would mean that millionaires would flourish while poverty would perish. While this new advancement of technology might cause a huge rise in stocks it would also cause the creators of these apps to be completely wealthy, those without access would crumble and be devastated. It would also create a border or a wall between the social status. But participating in a cashless society could be more efficient and environmentally friendly, so we could handle currency and transaction without harming the earth. In conclusion, there are definite positive and negative impacts in the cashless society. While this lack of cash might be convenient, beneficial for the environment, and could lessen the crime rate in the US, we also have to consider the negative impacts that might occur. It might be detrimental towards those who don't have technology at home. It could be easily traced back to the user, and it could result in hacking the apps and accounts of that app. The topic at hand is the cashless society and determining whether or not it is beneficial or detrimental towards our lives and environment by weighing the points. Cash is something that nearly all our civilians worldwide use. The possibility of a cashless society is not one that can be ignored because technological advances have been on the rise and will not cease. Especially during the coronavirus, things have been advancing more quickly and technology has been advancing way more quickly. This means that we have to be ready for all the technology and the changes that might happen in the future. Thank you.